So for most of my life, I've really struggled. I've exercised a ton. I thought I was always eating healthy. It seemed like no matter what I did, my energy would crash all the time throughout the day, and my body never really looked how I wanted it to look, no matter how many hours I worked out. So a number of years ago, I hired this nutritionist, and we did a series of tests. It was blood, saliva, the whole 9 yards. I wrote down every single calorie that I ate for 3 weeks. What he came back to me was so different than what I was doing, and so simple, it blew my mind. There are millions and millions of videos on diet and exercise. I've watched so many of them I can't even count and my head spins. But what I'm going to share with you today is a simple silver bullet hack that has allowed me to get in the best shape of my life. And I can summarize it in a single word, and that's protein. Almost all the calories we consume are broken down into 3 primary macronutrients: carbohydrates, protein, and fat. If you look at the research, most people consume the vast majority of their calories in carbohydrates. And that's easy to see. If you just walk down the supermarket shelves or go into a convenience store, almost all the foods that you're going to see are primarily composed of carbohydrates and fat. Protein is actually a lot harder to come by. Think about it: eggs, fish, meat, those are all things that need to be refrigerated, and they're just a lot less accessible. It's a much smaller part of our diet, but make no mistake, it is the most important part. The problem with carbohydrates is they spike your blood sugar. Your body produces insulin, which makes you feel tired, and then within 1 to 2 hours of eating carbs, you're hungry. The problem with eating fat is it's just highly caloric. So every gram of fat has more than twice the calories of protein or carbohydrates. So to keep this simple, you don't have to eliminate fat or carbohydrates. Even though today consumers eat primarily carbohydrates, they should be basing their diet around protein. There's 3 major benefits of eating protein. Protein will help keep you feeling fuller longer. So carbohydrates will only help you feel full for 1 to 2 hours, so you'll actually eat more and feel hungrier eating carbohydrates versus protein, which can be as long as 3 to 5 hours. Number 2 is protein helps stabilize your blood sugar. So those up and down crashes you have with carbohydrates is your body flooding your system with insulin after eating carbohydrates, whereas with protein, your blood sugar stays level, giving you consistent levels of energy throughout the day. And number 3, protein supports the building of lean muscle mass. And other than looking good, which is always nice, lean muscle mass also burns calories. So just while you're resting, the more muscle mass you have, the more calories you're going to burn. And this is what people mean when they say you have a high metabolism. But don't panic. You don't need to go Atkins. You don't need to go carb-free. You don't need to do intermittent fasting. You don't need to punish yourself. All you need to do is make a simple change. Make protein the primary macronutrient that you're eating at every meal. In the morning, I used to have a bowl of cereal and I'd be hungry 2 hours later and my energy would crash. And now instead, I have a high protein breakfast that might be something like eggs or yogurt. So this change is simple, but it's not easy. You're gonna have to be a lot more conscious when you go to the grocery store. You're gonna have to plan your meals to have more protein, and you're gonna probably have to supplement your snacks with protein bars and protein shakes. But promise you, it is worth it. There is nothing that I have done that has had a bigger change in my energy level or my body, and it's completely changed my life, and it will completely change yours. And if you've had success incorporating protein in your diet, I'd love to hear about it in the comments.